Okay, thank you for taking the time to listen to this video, to watch this video. I'm going to show you in this video how any person living on this planet can change their life forever. And I'm not going to give you a bunch of hype. I'm going to actually show you. I'm going to show you real facts. And there will be times that I might get a little bit energetic and excited, and you'll hear my bird screaming in the background as a result of that, as you can probably already hear. But let's continue. This is not hype. This is no joke. I'm going to show you with your own eyes how, without spending a dime of money, just doing work that anyone can do, anyone with a computer can do this. Um, it's easier if you have a computer, but anyone can do this because everyone has a mouth and everyone knows people. But of course, obviously, it's easier, as you'll see, with a computer, but it doesn't change anything. And by my calculations of the people who do this and actually do this, because that's important, it's not enough for an opportunity to be there if people don't take the opportunity. Okay? You have to actually be there. And you have to get people to watch this video and see for themselves, not try to explain it to them, see for themselves how they can actually change their lives. And these are facts. These are real figures. Okay? Um, we have all been dumbed down. We have all been taught that the world works much different than it does. And that's why it works differently for the 1% than it does for everyone else. Because they know how it works, and we don't. So the first thing that I want to cover here is the lie that you've been brainwashed in and trained into, that MLM is a Ponzi scheme. Most people believe that MLM is another word for Ponzi scheme. Now, what I'm going to tell you is not an MLM, okay? And the reason it's not an MLM is because there are some companies that claim to be MLM companies that are scams and that are Ponzi schemes. But in order for something to actually be an MLM, and definitely for something to be a Ponzi scheme, a product must be sold. Meaning, you buy the product, you sell the product to someone else. And what I'm talking about here, that's not required. But I'm going to show you how Facebook and all social media is also an MLM. And that is truly a scam. That truly is a scam because it's where billions of people do tons of work and a handful of people reap all the financial reward. It literally is the lie that they've been telling you about MLM all your life. And why would they lie to you about MLM? Why would they spend so much money and so much energy to get everyone to believe that MLM is a lie? Because the fact is there are good MLMs in the world. Why paint them all with the same brush? Why not tell people there are good ones out there, and if you find a good product and you sell it, if you find a product you love and believe in, it can change your life and free you from slavery. Why don't they tell you that? Because the goal is not to free you from slavery. The goal is to enslave you. And I'm going to prove that to you in this video. If you take the time to watch it, it'll probably be long. If you take the time to watch it, I'm going to show you with your own eyes. So let's continue. This is the logo from our gaming company. We'll get into that. I've typed this into Google, Facebook destroying the world, so that you don't think that what I'm telling you isn't true. And I'm not going to go into these different articles. You can do it yourself. But here we have The Guardian. Former Facebook executive, social media is ripping society apart. And it is. Facebook is destroying society and making users feel vacant. It's doing the opposite of what they were promised. And you can see, and like I said, if you want to read these articles, you can go in and do it yourself. So Facebook is an MLM, except the only exception is they don't actually sell a product. But they don't have to sell a product. The company does. And you, in fact, do sell a product. You just don't realize that you do. Because if you did, you probably wouldn't do it anymore. You probably would wake up and say, why am I doing any of this work? So that a handful of people can reap all of the financial rewards. Because that's what happens. And it's the same with Twitter and Instagram and WhatsApp and all of these different programs, Skype, all of it. So what I'm going to show you here is how you, if you are one of these people that actively uses these things, makes these companies so much money. And I'm going to single out two companies. This one here, Google and Facebook. Why? Because Google and Facebook make over $100 billion a year. $100 billion, and it's growing and growing. And how do they make this money? By other people's work. Okay? Facebook doesn't create a product. The people do. They just have a platform for people to put that product. It's kind of like if you had a flea market or a bazaar, depending on what you call it, a farmer's market, whatever you call it, wherever you're from. And it's generally, in the street. Okay? So what happens when no one sells at that bazaar, when there are no vendors there? It's just a street, right? It's just a parking lot, right? And that's what Google and Facebook are. They're just the parking lot. It's you that turn it into the marketplace. It's you. And without you, they cannot make any money at all. It's your work. So imagine you go to the bazaar and you sell products, but you don't get any of the money. It all goes to Google, or it all goes to Facebook. It all goes to the bazaar owner. No one would sell there, would they? So why do they do it on social media? Because they don't know. They simply don't know that they're being used. So again, as I said, I'm going to show you with your own eyes how you can be a millionaire, how you can be a billionaire by doing exactly the same thing that you do for them or have done for them. Where this time you get to reap the rewards. And when you see how much rewards you can reap from this without spending any money, it's going to show you how much money you make for them. So first we're going to look at, and again, this doesn't cost any money, so it doesn't fall under the category of MLM. But as I've explained to you, that power that can free any person, that can make people so unbelievably rich, is still there without the actual buying of a product. And the reason it can is because on the internet, the currency is advertising. And I said this many, 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 many years ago, and I still say it today. It's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, it's not Litecoin. The currency of the internet is advertising. Because on the internet, it's not like the physical world where you can go out and you can buy rent a place in a fancy mall or rent a place in a busy street, and people might see you just while they're going to another business. On the internet, no one can see your website if you do not advertise it. No one. It isn't possible. And it isn't anything until somebody actually calls up that address. The website doesn't exist. It's just a bunch of ones and zeros. It doesn't turn into the pretty pictures that you see until someone calls up that address. It's literally as if your business was on a star all by itself. So the internet is very different than the regular world. So when you have a website, you must advertise it. Whether you're going out and telling people about it, whether you're posting it on social media, whatever you're doing to tell people about it, that's advertising. Whether it's free advertising or paid advertising makes no difference. It's still advertising. With free advertising, you're using your effort in order to pay for the advertising. Your effort is what's being used. So you're working for your advertising rather than paying someone else to do it for you. But it's still advertising. Okay? So, and these big companies have done a really, really good job of exploiting the world and getting them to build their businesses for them for free. And now that the people have done that, they've said, okay, now we're going to take away the little bit that you got out of it. So Facebook got businesses. I mean, how many websites do you see that say, follow us on Facebook, join us on Facebook, whatever. Get more information on Facebook. Some companies don't even have websites. They just have Facebook pages. And they say, you know, when you post, all your fans are going to see it. All the people that are following you are going to see it. Well, a couple of years ago, they stopped doing that. And most people don't even know that. Most people think when they post on Facebook that all of their friends and followers see it. And that hasn't been the case for a few years now. Because they changed that. And in order for that to happen, now you have to pay. Now you have to pay for your own fans and your own friends and family to see what you're posting. Some of them will see it. It's about 10%. And every time it's going to be different. And if you don't believe this, go in. If you're one of those people that follows the feed in Facebook, if you're one of those people that follows that feed, then go in to one of your friends' walls and see if you've ever seen most of what they've posted. If you haven't, the only way you will see it is to go to their walls. And who does that? Unless you're stalking someone. So, okay, so now we're going to continue. And I'm going to show you, and in the process, show you how much money you've been making for Facebook. And I'm going to show you, this is a fact. If you do this, this will happen for you. Because the platform that I'm going to show you on has been running for 2 years. And I've been being paid on that platform for over a year. Well, a little less than a year, sorry. So I know for sure it's not a hypothetical, and this is why I haven't done this up until now. I knew when I started it. I knew when I started it that it was going to be huge. But most people, in fact, 95% of people must see something before they will believe it exists. Well, there's 5% of us who don't need to see it first. In business, we're generally the ones that are more successful. But I'm going to take the time and show it to you because your success doesn't hurt me. Okay? Not everybody believes that, but I believe that, and I know that to be true. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if you told 10 people about Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and how do you tell people about it? When people go, oh, can I have your number? I actually know people where people have stopped them and they ask them, you know, they recognize them or something and they say, oh, well, you know, I really want to talk to you about something, and they say, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Restaurants put their little, you know, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, right in their logos now. So there's lots of ways, you know, you might like you know, somebody might like you and ask you if you have, you know, some sort of social media, whatever it is that they use. So if you told 10 people about a social media platform, they're probably going to do the same thing, right? 10 people is not a lot of people, okay? If you're going to use something, you're going to tell people about it. So, and if you don't know 10 people, don't worry about that. We're going to show you how to advertise for free. So you can get people you don't know, okay? It doesn't matter if you know them or not. So if you don't feel comfortable in talking to your friends and family about something, that's okay. We're going to show you how to advertise for free. And that's why I said anybody can do this. Of course, you can buy advertising, but we're going to show you how to do it for free, okay? So that I can keep to the argument that anyone in the world can do this. And this is where if you have a computer, works. It makes it easier because the advertising we're going to show you that you can do on the internet is free, but you need a computer to do it. However, you could do things like, and these are things that I have done in the past, you could hang flyers, you could pass out flyers, you could do things in the physical world as well. That don't require, again, you to talk to your friends and family. But, you know, if you think about what I'm going to show you and how much it can change your life and how you can just show them and it can change their life, that why wouldn't you tell them face to face, this can change your life? And it can. But I also want to preface this, that this opportunity won't be around forever. Because eventually you run out of people, okay? But anybody getting involved in this now, and say probably for I don't know, only God knows for sure, but I want to say the next few months, has a chance to be a billionaire, to be a millionaire. And I know you're like going, how? A billion is a big claim. That's a lot of hype. I'm not going to tell you that it can make you a millionaire or six-figure income and then show you real figures that are going to show you a billion, because then you're going to go, wait a minute, why is she only saying six figures or a million? What I'm about to show you is going to show billions. So that's why I say billionaire. And like I said, anyone can do this, because anyone can get 10 people and educate those 10 people. And that's all you have to do. Get 10 people and educate those 10 people. So, so you've got your 10, now they get their 10. And then those people get their 10. I'm going to go ahead and back this up because I want you to see the 10s at the top. So that's you. And that's them. 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 So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do one more. And I want you to pay attention to this number. This number is 10 times the size of the number before. Okay. This right here, this 10 million, if I add all of these letters together, I'm going to get this, okay? So when I do the next one, I'm going to take, it's going to give me a different figure, and I'm going to add this 10 million to it. So that will give me the total of all the people on all the levels. So then I'm going to take 10 million, and then one more 10. Got 100 million, we're going to add the 10 million to it. And this is the figure we now have. 110 million people. And I said I'm going to show you real figures. Now, this company needed, in order for me to do what I'm doing right now with this video, this company needed a little bit of seasoning time, as they say. It needed to marinate a little bit. Right now, it has roughly, based on what I know about Google Play and how they are dishonest about the number of people who use it, how many, download stuff. They're very dishonest and I can prove that. Very dishonest in the actual number of downloads that a particular app has. They're going to keep their competition down. So, and I can prove that, so I have no problem saying it. We have 110 million people, and this particular platform that I'm going to go over with you and show you these figures on, that's Google Play says they have 5 million people in Google Play. It's also available on Apple. It's available on any platform. It's available on PC. It's available on Mac. It's available on, so just in Android, it is 5 million people. That's what I mean by seasoning. You need to have enough, for this type of platform, you need to have a good starting group, and it has that now. And that's why I'm taking the time to do this. While I've been telling people about this for nearly a year, but I've actually been teaching people about this concept for the last 17 years, saying that this time would come, and it definitely is coming, and this is just an example of that. And why is this important? Well, I don't want this video to be too long. I'll make other videos to explain to you why this is important. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to take real figures, because remember I said you want to use real figures. What is, with hype, there's a whole bunch of guessing. Okay, there's no hype if there's no guessing. Okay, now this particular platform that I'm using this example on, and we have others within our app, this particular platform is like a combination of WhatsApp and Skype, meaning there are things that WhatsApp doesn't have that Skype has, and there's things that Skype has that WhatsApp doesn't have. And this has everything that they have, better, and far more. Okay? So it, at the very least, has that. So we're going to take real figures. Now I built this for a very, very short time, probably a month, and then I stopped. And why I stopped for a good reason, but it's not relevant to this. Not that I help other people. I guess that's the way to put it. I help other people. So as far as personally referring people, and like I said, I don't directly until now focus on this program, but I am now, because like I said, it's seasoned now, and now it's time to take action and change your life. So, and it gives us real figures for which to be able to do what we want to do. Okay, this is a screenshot, a real screenshot from my app, and this shows revenue from this particular app. Now it doesn't cost you any money at all to use this. It's completely free. It's completely free, like Skype and WhatsApp. They won't sell your information to anyone. It's not monitored by the NSA. It's outside of the NSA's jurisdiction, and they won't, like WhatsApp, sell your phone number to advertisers so that they can send you messages, or like Skype does. It doesn't do any of that. It makes all of its money from advertising. You can buy, just like Skype, you can buy credits to call people who do not have um, this app or this program. But you will find that it is far, 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 far cheaper, like 1/20th of the cost of, if not less. It costs me for my own private number so that people can call me from, you know, like if I want people to call me from the United States, since I'm not in the United States, I have a number where people can call and it's local for them, it's not long distance. And that costs me far less per year than I used to pay for 1 month on Skype. So just an idea. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to. It's just if you need it, like I do need it. And then these are different things that people use. And what people use changes every day. You know, sometimes, you know, it just changes because it's different people. But what I want to show you in particular is these bottom two figures, okay? Network health indicates the percentage of people who used it this day, December 15th, okay? So people can have it and not necessarily use it every day. And why don't they use it every day? Well, because right now they're using other things every day, like, for example, Skype or WhatsApp or Line or any of these other programs that don't benefit them in any way. So, and again, now that it's seasoned, I've developed a way to increase this percentage, and I'm going to show you that as well. But if you participate in this, then you're going to be able to learn more ways in how to do it. But right now, I was just letting this sit and simmer in the background until, because I own my own company and I focus on building that. Focus on it is different. So I haven't focused on this, and yet it has continued to grow. Now, this screenshot doesn't include the number of people that I have in my organization, which incidentally, as of this screenshot, if I would have scrolled up, which I can't because it's a screenshot, is 3,333 people, where 3.81% are actively active, and this is the earnings from that. Now, I'm going to show you some math. So we've got, what was it again? 1872. Wait, first let's take 333 times 3.81%. This is the number of people that use it right now, because I don't have anything in place to sort of get them to really use it. But I'm going to show you how we're going to do that from here on out. And most of what I'm going to do is going to be work that if I didn't do it, you would need to do it. So I'm actually going to do this work for you. So that makes it much easier for you. Percent. So what we've got here, this is a European calculator. So that comma, for those of you that don't use a European calculator, would be a period. So 126, round up to 127 people that actually used it yesterday. And used it, again, is a relative term, because they might have just come in and checked it for a second and then closed it. We're going to get them using it like they use these other programs. And then those numbers are going to absolutely skyrocket. So 126 people used it yesterday. And because 126 people used it yesterday, I made this. And these are WOW coins, and I'm going to explain that. 1872. 18.72. See? Divided by 100, because it's like pennies. So it's actually, we're going to say it's 19 cents. Okay? I didn't do anything. I didn't have anything to do with it. But that's what it comes up to. Okay? So that means that if I divide 126 people, this is what I get. And I'm going to go ahead and round that to 002, because if I round this over, it's going to raise this to a 6. If I round this over, it's going to raise that to a 9. If I round this over, it's going to raise that to a 5. If I round that over, it's going to raise it to a 2. Actually, let's just leave it as it is. Okay. So now we're going to go back to this number. Okay. Now we're going to go back to this number. Now, this built over time. You getting 10, they get 10, they get 10 can happen really, really quick, or it can take time. And I want to, before I go into that, I want to share a story with you about what it means to take time. When I started marketing online, I had this knack of making people upset, really, really rich people. Just, I don't know, I think it was really a blessing from God, because it allowed me to learn a lot very quickly. But on many occasions, I would get phone calls from multimillionaires, and they would call me and they would say, "What you said is not nice, and that's not true." And not that I was lying about them, but like if you say you're selfish, and they say that's not true, I didn't necessarily lie. You know what I'm saying? So they would tell me that you're selfish and that's not true, and this is the reality of the situation. So then I would say, okay, I understand. I apologize. And then my next thought was, well, since I have a multimillionaire on the phone, I'm going to take this opportunity to pick their brains. So I had this, I just started asking these questions that I would think of if I had the opportunity to speak to somebody who was really rich. Now, back then, being a millionaire was something. Nowadays, it's actually a lot more common because things have become so expensive. So I guess it would be the equivalent of talking to billionaires today. So I would ask them different questions about, what would you say your key to success is? Questions like that. What do you think made you successful? And I remember one guy who was in, I want to call it a cold country. I don't remember where it was. I remember that it was a country that is very small, and one that people don't really talk about, but was part of the former Soviet Union, and that's all I could tell you. So this guy was a multi-millionaire, and he owned the program that I was in. That's how he got my phone number, and I had said something to him. I said something in a support ticket that got to him or something like that. I don't remember. It's not important. So I asked him, I said, your business says I can make this much money. How long is that going to take? And it's a question that people always invariably ask, but it's a really stupid question, because it depends on you. You know what I'm saying? How long will it take you to become a billionaire? How long will it take you to become a millionaire? Well, that depends on how long it takes you to go out there, find 10 people, and teach them. I mean, how long is that going? That all of that is within you. What's your work ethic? How hard are you going to work? How much effort are you going to put into it? It's not a question that anyone can answer. While a lot of people do answer that question, they're lying, and you shouldn't listen to them. Anybody that tells you that you can make money in this period of time is lying to you, because only God knows that answer. But his answer to me was different. In his answer to me, he said that, well, how long would you work to make that much money? I think that it was like $200,000 a year. He says, what do you have to do? What does it say you have to do? What is your part in it? What is your work? And I said, it says I have to get 3 people. I have to make 3 sales. He goes, okay. So that's your part. So how long are you willing to work to make those 3 sales? And I said, I don't know, 2 weeks. He goes, how much does it say you can make a year? I said, $200,000. He goes, so you're only willing to work 2 weeks to make $200,000 a year? Or even to make $200,000 one time? And then I realized how stupid that what I said was. So I raised it. And it kind of like a trick question sort of a thing. I said, I don't know, 6 weeks. And again, every time I answered the question, he made me feel stupid. And I was being stupid. He said, do you know how much a doctor makes? Do you know how long a doctor goes to school and how much money a doctor spends on school? And how much a lawyer, how much time a lawyer spends to become a lawyer and how much money they spend on school. And it really taught me that time is not a factor. You should never consider time. And in fact, that's one thing that rich people don't do. To give you an example, Facebook spent $300 million in 5.5 years before they ever made a dime in profit. They weren't sitting around going, how much time is it going to take before we can make money off of this? And the people who invested in the company weren't saying it either, because they know that time is not something they control. They just knew that if they kept at it, that they would reach a point where they would be successful. The vast majority of people would have quit within the first 90 days. If you gave everybody else the same exact situation and scenario, 95% of all mankind would have quit within the first 90 days. And the vast majority definitely would have quit before that 5.5-year mark hit. Because again, we're trained to look at time. Where rich people don't think that way. And that's how they become rich. It's not that they're smarter. It's not that they, have some better education or better resources. Because, as I said, in this particular thing, you don't have to, you don't have to do anything that Facebook did to be able to make huge amounts of money. You don't have to build the platform. You don't have to do all the things that they had to do. You don't have to do the things that they spent that $300 million on, because somebody already built the platform for you. You don't have to worry about support. You don't have to worry about keeping the site up or the apps up or updating them or any of those things. You don't have to worry about any of that because it's already being done for you. And that is the power of MLM. And why MLM can change people's lives. Because if you have a product and you try to sell it yourself, you've got to do all those things. But when you do it with a company who's doing all that for you, then it means that you can start a business much cheaper and at a rate that most people can afford. And that's what makes MLM really powerful. But this is the new age where you don't have to sell a product to make money. Like I said, Facebook they don't sell anything. Google doesn't sell anything, aside from your private information, but that's where they make the combined $100 billion a year does not come from that money. The $100 billion that I'm speaking of comes strictly from advertising. Okay? Also, what I'm telling you does not take any money from those companies. So if this company makes $100 billion, that's not money coming from Facebook or coming from Google. Google will still make money from advertising, regardless, because Google keeps the majority of the price of the advertising. So, okay. So now let's continue. So what we have here is what I made per person. What I made per person. So we're going to leave it at this. Yesterday, right? Or whatever day I took. It pays one day out, and that's why the latest is the 15th. So on the 15th, this is what I made per person who hardly uses it. And the reason I needed to wait to this point is I needed to have averages. I needed to have averages. I needed to have real data, real facts to be able to show this to you. Otherwise, it's just guessing. And nobody should be doing anything based on someone else's guess. These are real facts. And these real facts can change your life. And if you don't understand this when I'm done, watch it again. Okay? I challenge anybody to prove what I'm saying is wrong. No one can. No one can. Because I'm showing you facts. I'm not showing you estimations or guesses. I'm showing you real facts. Okay. So now we know how much I made per person. Now I told you if you got 10 and they got 10 and they got 10. Now how quickly can that happen? Again, does it matter how quickly it happens? As you know, my millionaire friend did. What if it took a year? What if it took a year? Or what if it took 5 years for you to be earning the figures that I'm going to show you? Would it not be worth it? Because what would it mean? It would mean you would never have to work again in your life, and neither would any of your family or friends that you decided to, you know, say, okay, you don't have to work anymore because I'm so stinking rich, I'll let you not work, you know. So hopefully they were smart enough to get in at the when you told them about this. But anyways, so now we're going to go back to that figure. So this is what I made in that one day per person that actually used it. And like I said, they clearly didn't use it much at all. But that's what we want real figures for, right? We want real figures. This is what we know without me doing anything else, without me, you know, creating something that will make them use them more. This is just with nothing. This is just the way that it stands. This is what I made. Okay? So, and you actually make more from your own people. I'm going to show you this right here. So you make 50%. They pay between 70 and 80%. 70 and 80% of their advertising revenue. And then other things they pay, you know, it's always between 70 and 80%. Okay, so you get 50% of what you do, okay? But the first generation is the highest. So my first generation is not my biggest, okay? Because again, I didn't do what I'm going to tell you to do, okay? Or what we're going to do from now on. I didn't do that. So the vast majority of people are not on my first generation where I make 10%. So had I continued to build this over the course of nearly a year, then these figures would have actually been higher. This is the result. My figures are the results of other people's efforts. And that's the power of MLM. That's the power of networks. That's why you have corporations. Corporations, the only difference between a corporation and an MLM is, again, a corporation is a bunch of people doing a bunch of work with the vast majority of the financial gain going to a handful of people. It literally is, corporations literally are everything that they told you that MLM was. That's what they are in fact. Where MLM is not that. A real MLM with a real product is not that. It's not a situation where the people at the top make all of the money. It's a situation where the people who did the most work it's capitalism. MLM is capitalism. It's not corrupt capitalism like exists in most of the world where the big corporations write the laws, essentially. It's true capitalism. The people who work the hardest make the most money. But that's not the way, but corporations truly are, you know, pyramid schemes. The people at the top make the vast majority of the money. If you put it into percentages, the higher you go up in the chain, the higher percentage. The fewer the people, the higher percentage of income from a corporation. So, and it's the same with government. You got all these people paying taxes, but as you start moving up that chain, it's, I digress on that point. Okay, so we're going to go back to the calculator, and we're going to multiply this times 110 million people. And before I hit anything, I want to tell you, you might go, well, if everyone gets 110 million people, that's not possible. Yes, you're right. But within your 110 million people, if you divide this by 10, there's 10 other people, if it was balanced, 10 other people that have a tenth of this, that they also get paid off of. Okay? So these people, these 110 people, aren't just in your organization, they're in 8 other people's organizations as well. It's not just you that get paid on them, 8 people get paid on them. So, but again, still, as this grows, it becomes harder and harder. The more time that you sit around and wait and think, well, let me watch and see if it really does go the way that she says that it goes, the window of opportunity closes and closes until it gets smaller and smaller until it disappears. And then you're sitting there going, I wish I had done that. Just like the people who were offered the opportunity to invest in Google early on or invest in Facebook early on and didn't. Although then you'd be like the president of Facebook, the first president of Facebook, hating your life for what you did to humanity. So, okay, so now we're going to multiply this, and this is what we got in a single day. $163,428 in a single day. Okay? And now we're going to multiply that times 365. You see the number? It is $59 million. 59, almost $60 million a year. And so as you can see, you would be a billionaire over the course of time, because these numbers are going to continue to go up. If you just did this and you did this and you stopped at 110 million, it would still continue to grow. Not only that, but the amount of money that you would make per person would go up. It would go up because the more people that use it, the more people use it. So what I mean by that is, if you use this and none of your friends use it, you're not going to use it that much. But once more and more people are using it, then you're going to use it more. Just like you use whatever it is that you use now, you're going to switch over and use that. And that means the revenue that you're going to make is going to be much higher than, like I said, what did we say that it was? 2 cents. I think we said it was rounded up to 2 cents per person per day. So all of that will take care of itself without doing anything. But do you need more than $60 million a year? You really don't. I said, the reason that I used the figure $1 billion was because the numbers were going to show you that eventually. But no one needs to make $60 million a year. Now, is it necessary? Is it even possible? Is it even possible that is it even possible? Because I was shocked to find out when I came online that this was in many years ago, 17 years ago, that there were 9.2 million millionaires in the year in the world. 9.2 million. At that time, I had no idea that there were that many millionaires. And that was really a motivating factor to me because while I could concede that there were people smarter than me, I wasn't willing to concede that there were 9.2 million people that were smarter than me. So that information really helped me, but those figures are far different now. Billionaires. Trying to get a different figure that I want you to see. I know what it is, but I want you to see it with your own eyes. China is churning out a new billionaire every 5 days. Asia overtakes the U.S. in number of billionaires. So, is it possible? Well, in China, there's one every 5 days. But again, this is an example of a situation, and will there be tons more in your life? I doubt it. But there's one right now. So like I said, most people don't even need $1 million a year. I mean, people who, in fact, once you become a millionaire, you'll find out that you preferred it when you weren't. I can speak from experience. You won't. Everybody chases a dream that they never reach, so they can never find out what it's actually like to be that. And once you become wealthy, you learn that money doesn't buy happiness. And the most important things in life, the things that bring you peace and bliss and happiness, do not cost money. But oftentimes you got to get there first to learn that for yourself. But definitely this is far more than anybody dream, than most people listening to this video dream of making, and this is just in 1 year. But as I said, we're as more people use this, and like I said, millions already do, but as more people use this, the revenue starts to increase. Another thing that I want to show you is this figure right here. You will actually make money as this company grows. You will actually make money from your friends who didn't even sign up under you or anywhere in your organization. And the reason is this right here, 50% to self, which means when you're communicating with your friends who are not in your organization, you're still making money. You're still making money. So that's a really, really big key factor. So I wanted to show this because it shows actual facts. Now, our company has the world's only affiliate network, mobile affiliate network, and it's technically not an affiliate network because affiliate by definition is only 2 generations, and ours is 7, which again puts it more in the power of MLM than in affiliate. And I want to go back to the calculator and show you this right here. You see this right here? This is where the power is. This is what they know and you don't know and you don't understand. Okay? So those people who joined Facebook early on, look how much money they're making for Facebook. Facebook makes this kind of money and more from work that they did, and will continue forever to make that money, and it will continue to grow and get bigger and bigger. So, and that's the power right there. And these social games that, you know, will give you a digital life if you tell your friend, if you get your friends to come and join and play. To give you a digital life, something that has absolutely no value whatsoever. They'll give you that if you go work for them for free. And this is what we're talking about. So this is our app. And this app has, like I said, it's an affiliate program. So it has the program that I told you about. And anytime any program comes out that does the sharing of their advertising revenue with their users, it will be added to this app. This app has gotten major reviews if you read the description. It was featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, Huffington Post, The Wall Street Journal, and over 400 top news business sites, which in the past would have been huge, but nobody trusts the mainstream media anymore, so nobody really reads that stuff. So, so within this, by people promoting this, and this is what everybody went crazy about, was the ability to, instead of share, you know, oh, well, are you on this? Are you on this? Are you on this? Or here, get this, here, get this. You just share one thing, and they end up being in all of them underneath you. And when they share that with other people, those people end up being under all of them, and that creates multiple streams of income, multiple situations like this particular one right here, multiple situations. Now, the reason I chose this particular app out of what else is in there, even our own stuff, is because this is easier for most people to understand. People have difficulty understanding numbers in the fact that, for example, one of the games in our app has over $200,000 in prizes. It's a free tournament. It's like Candy Crush. And people have a more difficult time understanding how they can make money with that in that particular, because they want to see, if I do work, because they have that slave mentality that they've been trained, I want to exchange dollars for hours in this particular, because that's what they've been trained to do. Rich people will work for free. Poor people never will, and that's the reason that they are. So for 5.5 years, Facebook not only worked for free, but they paid $300 million to work for free. Okay? But look at the end results. And they understand that, where the average person doesn't. And that's why I chose this app, because it does actually, you can see the figures. This is what I make per person. Okay? Where if you had the same, it would actually be 11 million, because our stuff pays on 11 levels. If you won the tournament, you'd get $25,000. Once a tournament ends, another one immediately starts. I'm just going to use this for an example. If you didn't win the first place, well, there's in this particular tournament, there's 49 other prizes to win. There's 49 places. You know, there's first place, second place, third place, fourth place, all the way to 50. Okay. There's also tickets that you can win that are used for a lottery type thing. You know, like drawn. It's not a lottery because it's not chance, because you actually have to win the tickets. You can't, you know, just get them for free. So, or you can't buy them. But within this, there's over $200,000, and the more people we have, the more, the bigger the prizes are, okay? And the more winners that there are. So, for example, if there's 200,000 people, and you get, how does it pay on 7 levels? You get 10% of anybody that you sponsored, or they sponsored, or they sponsored, or they sponsored down 7 levels. So again, in the long run, this will probably pay out far more than the other program, because if you averaged it out, and you have a large group like this, you're going to get more of this. And for example, if you had a large group like this, it would mean that since all the money is based on advertising, it would mean there's far more money being paid out in advertising. More money would be coming in, much more prizes. The number of people is tied to the number of people playing is tied directly to the amount of prize money that is paid out. So in the long run, and again, that's just one game. And again, like I said, it's an affiliate program. So anytime any program comes out that does this, you instantly know about it because we put it in the app. And then all the people that so let's say you had 110, it's a year from now or however long from now, and you had that number of people in there, and all you did was get 10. Okay, this is the key point that I need to beat into your head. You're not getting 110 million people. Okay, you're not getting 110 million people. You're getting 10 and educating those 10. That's your work, and however long that takes you to do that. Okay. And the key is to educate those 10 people so that they will do the same thing. Find 10 people who want to change their life and don't want to be a slave anymore. So we fast forward to the future, and you have 110 million people in your organization, and we add another program, another game to the affiliate program, to your web-based app. Now you have 110, just right there, right then, you now have, instantly, especially if it's made by us, it's automatic. If it's a game made by us, it's automatic. Those people will automatically be in your downline. So now you instantly, overnight, your income has increased because you have 110 million people in a new game. So this is your opportunity to change your life. That only requires your own effort. And how long or how hard are you willing to work to make this happen? Now, if you get 20 million, if you get 20 people, then you can essentially just multiply this. If you get 20, then you can double this. If you get 30, then you can triple this, okay? Because we're going to assume that everyone else is still going to get 10. Now, you will have people in your organization. It's an average of 10, because you might go, well, some people won't do anything. You're absolutely right. Some of the people that you get will not do anything, okay? You're looking for 10 that will. But in the process of that building, what you're going to find is you're going to not only have 10 people who will, but you will have people in your organization who will get 1,000, who will get 100, and that will change all those figures. We're just using an average of 10 here. So somebody getting 1,000 makes up for a whole bunch of people who didn't get any, doesn't it? And that's really how this type that's just how life works. 95% of people don't do a damn thing. 5% are doing all of the work, with 2% doing the vast majority of the work. But again, if you look at Facebook, 95% of the people didn't bring anybody to Facebook. 5% of the people brought all the people to Facebook, with 2% of the people bringing the vast majority of people to Facebook. But still, Facebook makes billions of dollars a year on advertising alone. So what are the things that we're going to change now and make it better? Okay, so Had I done this earlier on, it would have been, it would have, it really wouldn't have worked. It really would have needed to simmer. Okay, so if I would have tried to make a group when I had nobody in my downline, well, who would be in the group? No one, right? Well, since we have a group, now, okay, we can now do some of the things that I'm going to show you that we're going to do. So, I actually do have one group on here. So the problem with something like this, and this is something that people making these kinds of programs have known, this company was really lucky to start out with 30,000 members. Had they not had that, it wouldn't have worked. They had a lot of money, and like I said, they started out with 30,000 members. So because what would have happened is people would have joined, but without anyone to talk to, there would be no reason to even keep the app or you have the platform open because there's no one there. So the way that we're going to change that is we're going to create a group that anyone can put people in. And I don't even care if you're already in this program, you can still come join the group, you can still put people in, okay? Because we're trying to make a change in the world, okay? So we're going to make a group called, and here's a group. As you can see here, this is just a group of leaders. And there's 102 people in it, okay? So we're going to make a group like this, but we're going to call it World News, okay? And in this group, people will come in, and you should do the same thing. Come into the group every day. You don't have to, but it helps. Come in every day and say good morning and say what's going on in your part of the world. If anything has happened, if nothing's happened, you don't have to. You can just say, good morning, everyone, okay? And it's actually really enjoyable to do that, because we already do that in this group. And they're funny, and they generally make me laugh. We talk about the games in here and stuff like that as well. As I was in here talking smack to them yesterday. Telling them to fear me and stuff like that. So these are screenshots. If I click on it, it will open it up. Open up. I downloaded one here. So, and I said, do you fear me? And this is, she's saying, yes, she fears me. And we're just laughing and joking about it, you know. So, but in this particular room, it's just going to be world news. And so if something's happening in your neck of the woods, something, if you feel like, just something, because, what I find out is people often, contact me where I live and they go, oh my God, I heard this is happening. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So, so that's the thing. So we're just going to call it World News, and we'll come up with other groups as well. We could, come up with comedy groups. Maybe actually let's do World News and comedy groups. So you can go in there and post a joke, okay? So let's do that, and I hope I remember because I haven't made these groups yet. So we'll do World News where you can go in, say hi to the world, and this is what's going on. Everything's peaceful, everything's calm, or they're protesting this or whatever, okay? So that you can get real, unfiltered news from real people on the streets, okay? And what this does is it gives people a reason to come here, okay? Now, if you're in a particular country, here's another way you can get people for free. There's a place that when you set up, because you can actually use this without advertising. If you're like, I hate advertising, okay, you won't make any money, but you can still use it. In order to make money, you have to, off of other people, you have to be doing what they're doing. But we will take... sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. With these groups, it will give people a reason to be. It'll give them messages. There's a place in there where you can select to allow people to join you who you don't know. Okay, and why is that important? Because this particular company doesn't have any company signups. So that means if somebody finds the app in Google Play or iTunes or any of the different stores, they don't have a sponsor. So when they click on it, it allows them to sign up. It'll show all the people who are willing to accept people they don't know as friends. And I definitely recommend that you select that. Okay? If you select that, you're going to get sign-ups for no reason. You know, they're just people who you had nothing to do with it. They're going to sign up under you. Where I'm at, it's a different language. Okay, it isn't English. So, so what I recommend that you do is, if you are in a country where the group is in English, because these two groups that I'm going to make are going to be English. Okay, so if you're in a country and there's the possibility that the people joining won't speak English, then you make a group. And you can ask us how to do that once you're in the group. You can make a group. And so we'll have another group that's help, okay? And you can also mute these groups, which I recommend, so you don't get tons and tons of messages from your phone going off. Just go in there and mute the group, and then it'll still let you know that people have sent you a message, but it won't make a sound on your phone. That way you can check it whenever you want. So we'll have a help group, and we'll have a comedy group, and we'll have a news group. Now, if you are oh, back to the language. So if you're in a country, let's say you're in Sweden, for example, and not everybody speaks English, then, and you have it open to allow anybody from Sweden to join you, because it goes on country when it allows people to sign up underneath you, then you need to make a group for Sweden. That's the mistake that I made. So these people were signing up, and I get them regularly. I get sign-ups regularly from people from the store, but they sign up, and then the only person they have to talk to is me. They're not. I mean, in some cases they have more people who have already joined it, but this way they have. But those people, you know, might not necessarily be using it as much. So you would create a separate group that is news, but, or whatever you want to call it, because obviously people in Sweden will know, just be, you know, a coffee club or whatever you want to call it, but where the language in that group is Swedish, so that everybody, so when you get these people, so for example, I would create the group for my language group, and everybody that came into that group that came in from that country, and I would know the difference, because this is how I know the difference. If they come in from because of where I'm at, if they come in from the store, from Google Play or whatever, it says hello in that language. Where when they come from any place else, it says it in English, because my app's set up in English. So that tells me, aside from their names, that they're actually from there. So had I had a group to put them all in, they could all meet each other and chat and talk. And then they would have a reason to continue to use it. And they would have a reason to get other people to come and join it. And things, I probably would have had a really, really huge downline by now had I done that. But, as I said, back then, not as many people were using it. So now that it has, we've allowed this program to season itself to now we can do all of these things that we couldn't do before. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your web-based app, and you're going to log into it. You're going to go into the programs and apps, and you're going to sign up for those things, which are all free. And then you're going to start, there's a link, there's a place in there that says share, and it will allow you to share on, it will give you a link that you can give that will work on any platform to get people to get your 10 people. We also have a website, which you will find in there in the app, and that will give you different splash pages, but there's a program in there called Advertopia. advertopia.org, and by going in there, um, I say that because I actually created this is the second version of that company, and I started it in 2003. And another company came out, an advertising company came out and stole the name of the company. But that's okay. I don't care. It's flattering to me that they, did that. It's not the first time someone's ever plagiarized me. So, like I said, it's flattering. So, anyways, so that's what you're gonna do. That's how you're going to get started. Advertopia um, is a program that's going to show you how to advertise online for free, where you can get people who are to join your business, people you don't know. Okay, so I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed or freaked out. So we're going to take it baby steps, and that's how you get to anything. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get the Your Web-Based app. The second thing that you're going to do, the very first program that you're going to join, you're going to go through and you're going to join WOW, and it's in there. You're going to join that, and then once you join that, whoever you joined under is going to place you into a group. And if they don't, message them and say, I want to go into the group, because they might be shy. Okay, so you just say, I want to go into the group. And then once you're in the group, in the groups, there will be people there that will help you all along the way. How do I know that? Because they have been for the last 2 years helping with other things, and they're a wonderful, great group of people who love helping people and are truly dedicated to changing the world and making the world a better place. So I'm going to end this video now, and I hope to see you on the other side.